This just amazes me. This is the completionist statement on Twitter. First off, he's not sorry, and we all know he's not sorry. He's sorry he got caught. But if you scroll down, you'll see people saying things like, please, for the love of God, before replying to this video, watch it. And just defending him. Like, how can you defend? How can you defend somebody like this? Now, for once, I agree with Keemstar. I agree with Keemstar fully on this one. Keemstar said, dude raised money for a cause since 2014, did not send the money to the cause till 2023, and replies and people are defending him. You people don't have an IQ worthy of respect, honor, or truth, which is funny coming from Keemstar. You deserve to be scammed. I never thought I would agree with Keemstar on anything, but here we are. He's correct. He's absolutely correct. The fact that people are defending Gerard is remarkable. It just is. I never thought I would agree with him. Andrew says, I'm watching this, and based on the comments, there is a good case for slander. I watched the whole thing, and there are comments that where people obviously didn't watch it. I feel this thread itself could be used as evidence based on some of the comments. No, 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 dude, no. It's not slander if it's factually proven. It is not slander if it is factually provable. Like, I don't know why people think that saying factual stuff is slander. It's beyond me. Because here's the thing. When Keemstar starts to make sense, when Keemstar, of all people, starts to make sense with this statement, you know you've messed up. It's just a factual thing. You have screwed up. People defending Gerard, even though he himself openly admitted in Mudahar's video, I don't have to play the clip. Mudahar has played that clip multiple times. Carl has played that clip multiple times of him admitting to knowing that the funds weren't even transferred till roughly 2022. And he only just now gives out the money after getting called out on it. That makes no sense. Like, guys, come on. Can you start talking about the IQ? I mean, I hope this is sarcasm right here, because good Lord, it is not an excellent response. Let's click and find out what people are saying. Someone said, right here, no, this had some good parts, but ultimately goes off the rails. To my knowledge, nobody said anything about his family. The issue was with the lack of transparency. All he had to say was, sorry, I'm finding receipts. It may take some time. He instead tells a sob story and makes threats. Yeah, he made threats. And then the dude who said this was truly an excellent response said that you're completely mistaken. Watch Jobst's second video. The Khalil family seems to have been stealing a lot of money that was supposed to be going to the Open Hand Foundation. It also appears, blah, 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 blah. We got that. And in response to this, the key word being seems, because Gerard said one thing and the reality didn't align with his words, on top of him contradicting himself before and after he supposedly found out about the money. Questioning him is reasonable, and there are still reasons and to have plenty of doubt now. And it's just amazing, guys. Like, how can you still defend him? Not even a couple of minutes in, and people are already toxic in the replies. Classic Twitter antis. See, they're treating this as if this is some sort of drama, some sort of, YouTuber beef, like a Keemstar versus Turkey Tom beef or something like that, which that's not the case. Because as much as I dislike Keemstar, to my knowledge, most of the stuff that he's done has just been morally reprehensible. It hasn't really been illegal, to my knowledge. It's just been morally wrong, which I'd rather it be morally wrong than potentially illegal. But in response to this person, constructive criticism isn't toxic. Constructive criticism isn't toxic, my butt. These people will believe two unqualified, quote-unquote, attorneys who sit in front of a camera and make YouTube videos, yet dunk on someone who took full accountability, full responsibility for his wrongdoings. It has evidence to prove those scumbags wrong. Where was the evidence? Like, in reality, guys, where was the evidence of that? I don't get it. I don't get it. And in response, full responsibility, LMAO. What responsibility? He just wants to come back. And Dorian says, because people like you believe in those two drama tubers who have done nothing but paint him as a swimmer. Oh, I wonder why. Could it be because he openly admitted to being a swimmer? Like, he fully admitted to it on video, and Muda himself said he's willing to release the entire phone call if Carl and Gerard are okay with it. Muda is fully okay with that. There's some off-the-book stuff that he doesn't want to put out there into the world without permission from both parties. But I'm sorry, if you're willing to put out the entire call, then that means you have nothing to hide. The only thing you have to hide are the off-the-book stuff, and I can respect that. I can fully respect that. And in response, when you solicit money from people donating on the premise that it's going to a certain specifically named charities, and it's knowingly not, that's deception. That proves that deprives people of money. Pretty much the textbook definition of a swindler. Exactly. Exactly. He didn't steal the money. I always love when these super fans, no matter who they are, these super fans, their hero, their god, their personal Jesus Christ, gets called out for doing something really scummy, and all the evidence is out there for the world to see, and they still refuse to believe that these people are scammers, are swindlers, or anything other than what they paint themselves to be. You see, that's true unbiased right there. The completionist painted himself off as this amazing person through the years, and always nice, always kind, always this, always that. Then his true colors started to show once he took like the G4 position and stuff like that, and he started to get more corporate. And then his greedy side came out when some ordinary gamers called him out, and some ordinary gamers liked the completionist. So why in the world would he do this? He was tipped off by somebody in regards to the Open Hands Foundation. He didn't look this up himself. He was tipped off by a fan. So give me a break with this. Give me a break. Muda was tipped off by a fan to look into this. But people fail to realize that, don't they? In response, Retro says, "Where do you get steal out of their tweet? I only saw solicit. Let's look up the meaning of the word solicit." For the ignorant people who don't like to use a dictionary, solicit means ask for or try to obtain something from someone. He called a meeting to solicit their views. That's what solicit means. And in response, "Hey, no need to put autistic in your bio. We can tell from this tweet. What does my Twitter bio have anything to do with this? You're just looking for an excuse to crap on Gerard while joining those who are in favor of those two unqualified attorneys." You know, what's funny to me is that Muda and Carl never claimed to be attorneys. In fact, they claimed the exact opposite. Muda has just stated that he's going off of what public records have posted. See, what this person's doing is slander, is defamation, in my personal opinion, because you're making false claims and false statements of a pair of people when they never claimed to be attorneys. In fact, they've reported this to California so the proper people can look at this and can, take hold of this thing. Anybody can look into public records. That's exactly what they did. They looked into public records. I can do that. You can do that. Anybody can do that. But to constantly say unqualified attorneys, they never claimed to be attorneys. But you don't have to be an attorney to know the law. You don't have to be an attorney to know what's right and wrong legally. You don't. You can have a basic grasp of the legal system without being a freaking attorney. Sweet Lord. My brain is broken. My brain, I originally thought it was because I'm sick, I'm getting over a cold, if you can't tell by my voice, but no, my brain is literally broken. Dorian has broken my brain. Sweet Lord, I will say this over and over again. If Keemstar had brought this up, if a YouTuber I despised brought this up, Keemstar, Logan Paul, anybody, I have zero respect for them in general, didn't like them, any of that, and they brought it up, I would believe it. Because whether or not I support or like a YouTuber does not matter. If they point out the truth that somebody is scamming people, I will believe it. If they show hardcore evidence, hardcore proof, hardcore everything, I will believe it. Because truth does not take a back seat to my disgust of someone. Because even the most disgusting person in the world could be right on occasion. They can be. But let's proceed. And they just get laughed at. And then this is my favorite comment. Gerard admitted he never donated the money for a decade, admitted to finding out in 2022 that it wasn't donated, and still donated it. Until sometime November of 2023, after he got exposed. Exactly. And I love how Dorian doesn't respond to this whole situation. As you can see, you can click on it and he doesn't even respond. And GK points out, he linked 4 documents, 1 autopsy report, irrelevant, 1 OHF termination of private status, relevant, but raises questions why 2021 and 2022 were filed as private charity instead of public. 3 OHF audit up to 2014, irrelevant. Most important, he committed charity fraud. And then my personal favorite thing is, he's only sorry he got caught. Now, I know this is just one fan that I took a deep look into, and I was looking at all this, just seeing what I could find. This was completely first reaction. I didn't know this thread existed. This was just me looking into it, just because I wanted to see what was going on with Gerard's fan base. And this is basically the mindset of each and every person that still supports the completionist fully. And I want to make it clear, you are well within your right to question Mudahar and Carl. You can question them, that's fine. But to make these dumb statements like unqualified attorneys, that's where I kind of don't have any respect for you. You're showing your hatred towards the two content creators more than you are actually listening to the facts and actually listening to what's really going on. You're not really wanting to come at this with an objective view. You're not really looking at this from a place where Gerard could possibly be doing something really wrong and really scuzzy as an individual. And you don't seem to care that Gerard is doing something scuzzy as an individual because you have this weird parasocial relationship with the completionist, where you think you know his entire personality simply because you watch a fake persona behind a computer screen or a cell phone screen, that you will defend this man till your dying breath. You will defend him like he's the second coming of Jesus Christ. Like, come on, bro. I will end with this. Dorian, you are a brainlet, LMAO. By the way, the community note is the cherry on top. Take a second to read it. Gerard is full of it. That's just 100% truth. I might look at more of these threads to see what more people are saying, but really, anybody who is defending Gerard on this situation, anybody, and is not taking an objective look, and they are making, these claims that Muda and Carl are drama tubers over things that are serious and that are real, at the worst, at the best, let me rephrase that, at the best, Gerard just being completely incompetent with people's money. At the best. And unintentionally misleading people of where the funds were going. That's the best case scenario. And at the worst case scenario, drumming up an apology, finally donating the money, which he should have done a while ago because of depreciation, and then making kind of a vague, semi-lawsuity threat to Mudahar and Carl, which, again, is going to be difficult because they're both outside of the United States. Like, geez. Sounds to me like this man is mad that he just got caught. That's what it sounds like to me. So, I don't know. I didn't expect this to be a long video. I know I'm going to speed this up, but I've been recording for 17 minutes and 18 seconds. But, yeah. Dude, this is ridiculous. This is not some drama stuff. This is not some pettiness. This is, like I said, not some Keemstar and Turkey Tom nonsense, drama alert nonsense. This is some serious stuff. And if you cannot understand how serious this stuff is, then, I pray that you never have to experience what it's like to lose money to a charity scheme. And on top of that, I pray that you never have to be the recipient of charity funds that go missing because of a selfish person who decided to withhold the funds. Because that's exactly what Gerard did. Instead of thinking about how much you hate Mudahar and Carl, instead of that, why don't you actually, think of all the people that have been harmed on both the donation side and the receiving side from all this money just sitting in a bank account all this time? Why don't you think about that? Because that to me is more important than some YouTuber nonsense of me disliking somebody. Because these are people's lives. These are people's abilities to find treatments. And what's extra disgusting is he used his dead mother's name for all of this. That, to me, is the biggest disappointment of it all.